Welcome back to Shelburne, Nova Scotia, and this week's episode of the Old Barn on Ann Street. In this week's episode, we're continuing to work on the house, so let's get started.
So the project for today is to start working on the flooring upstairs in the house, which is right next door to the barn. We are not really wanting to do a lot of work on this house before we get it ready to rent. It's in good shape. There's a lot, it's got good bones, but there's some cosmetic things we'd like to do, and one of them is the flooring upstairs. You can see that the floor upstairs is carpet that's quite old, and in each of the rooms there's a different color carpet or different age of carpet, it seems like, and so they replace some of the carpet at different times. And so what we're going to do is rip up all that floor, the carpet, and see what's on the floor underneath. We're not sure if we're going to rip up the one on the stairway and downstairs because it's much newer and has really thick padding. We're going to wait and decide what to do with that later. But today we're just going to look at the flooring up here, start ripping up the carpets and scraping up whatever padding's underneath there and see what we got.
When we got started pulling up all that carpet, we really had no idea what we were going to find, and I really do love what we found.
So here we are upstairs, and these are the floors that we find upstairs. I think they're beautiful, to be honest. They're the really old, wide plank floors that go back, I'm sure, 100 years plus, maybe two. This is the original house from 1788, and so some of this stuff could be quite old, but we're really pleased with the look. It looks much better than having the old carpet on here.
The wide floorboards and beautiful old floors wasn't the only thing we found. It's one of the beautiful things, amazing things about working in an old house like this. You just never know what you're going to find.
So in all the rooms upstairs, there's carpet that's really old, and we're pulling that up because we want to get down to the original hardwood floors. In a couple of the bedrooms, there were multiple layers of carpet underneath, and between that and the actual hardwood floor was a layer of newspapers. Lots of them. The whole stack, once we collected them all, is probably about this tall, and there's all kinds of papers. Halifax Herald, the Shelburne Gazette, paper from Montreal as well, and then one other paper, I don't remember the name of it, seemed a little bit sketchy. But here's the Halifax Herald. I think you'd be interested to see what was happening in the news in the Halifax Herald, December 6th, 1913. First of all, there was a far-reaching decision on telephone regulations. I'm sure that was life-changing. There are some other things in here. What dyspeptics should eat. Over here, 2 pages. Let me go 2 pages here to find the next thing. Oh, there was a humiliated woman who would not attend a social function because of her hair. Interesting things were happening in 1913, and that doesn't happen every day. Then there was this big, almost like full, like half-page ad. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see kind of the pictures there are women wearing dresses, and the dresses were for morning hours, smart, though simple. One of them was had a patent leather belt with a plaid vest. There was part of the style accents for this frock right there. The wool, another one, the wool ratine, hope I'm saying that right, plaid with brocaded collar and girdle, don't forget that. Two-toned ribbed velour. Man, this is some solid stuff right here. Christmas gifts for 50 cents. There's a whole list of them there. There's a recipe here for sour cream cookies, a 1913 cookie recipe. I think we might have to try that. Sour cream cookies. And then on the back, man, this is a great story on the back. There was a ship. I think it was on the back on the inside. Let's see if I missed it there. Yeah, there it is. Storm tossed for 3 weeks. A week overdue, the collier Invergyle has a thrilling story to tell of battle with the seas and a daring rescue. Just listen to the first paragraph. This is amazing stuff. After undergoing every experience that befalls the, in quotes, men who go down to the sea in ships, end quotes, the Invergyle arrived yesterday morning from Wales, just 1 week overdue. And if you read the whole story, it talks about, the rudders breaking. It talks about all kinds of things going wrong. The ship was just kind of, sometimes just kind of drifting at sea while they were doing repairs to the rudder on the outside of the boat. And at the same time, the seas were so huge that the waters that were coming, the waves that were coming over to the boat, broke up all but one of the lifeboats, turned them into kindling, moved things around, broke everything. While the crew were repairing the rudder on the outside of the ship. I mean, it was amazing to the rest of the rescue and how they made it only a week late. It says at the end, after the machinery of the Invergyle broke, but she finally got here without any loss of life and a credit to the British seamanship. Amazing stuff. 1913, a lot of good stuff was happening in the Halifax Herald.
I hope you enjoyed that little trip back to 1913, the Halifax Herald, but there's so many good things to find. But one of the things about an old house is sometimes the things you find aren't all that great. So here's a clip from next week's episode.
That's the wrap between the siding and the structure. So right now, this whole part, which is the corner part of the structure of this corner of the house, is all rotten out. So what we're going to have to do is take all this stuff out. This wood is still good. We're going to have to take out some of this wall and figure out what that's like. But it just kind of adds to the excitement of the day. So one more project for us to do. And so here we go.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Old Barn on Ann Street. By the way, I'm coming to you with all this beautiful scenery behind me. If you're wondering where that is, I'm standing where the Roseway River meets the mouth of the Shelburne Harbor. It's a beautiful place right where the Roseway River Trail begins. Another great reason to come and visit this beautiful town of Shelburne, Nova Scotia. You can shop, you can go to the restaurants, you can walk the trails, you can see the beautiful harbor. So many good reasons. In the meantime, though, while you're watching this from wherever you are, why not click the Portrait of the Barn and become one of our subscribers? We'd love for you to become one of our subscribers so you'd never miss an episode. Our subscriber list is growing. We're having a great time. We hope you are too. So we'll see you again next week.